Do we look at crime rate? We do look at crime rate, but we don't generally use that as a big factor into the decision making of the area. I look at, when you look at crime rate, every area will have a crime rate, and there are areas that probably have more crime than others. But you got to also remember, a lot of these suburbs that you would consider has a lot of crime rate now, in 5 or 10 years, they generally what we call gentrify, and that crime rate goes down in time. However, what I do look out for, rather than looking at the crime rate, is look at the socio-economic profile of the area. Look at the income. Look at the type of demographics that is there. How old are they? Is it a family-oriented suburb? And what is their income levels? Income levels for a suburb generally does tell us how that suburb is going in terms of value, because if a suburb has higher income earners, you generally would know that as property prices increase or even interest rates increase, these areas are not susceptible to fire selling. The people there who live there can afford their mortgages. They're not having to force sell their properties. As rent goes up as well, people who live there on higher incomes can also pay for higher rent. So generally, we don't really look at crime rate, it's more the economic profile of that suburb. Other things you can look at is things like government housing in that suburb as well. So generally, when you do find a lot of government housing, you'll also see that the economic profile of that suburb is also a lot lower than the averages of the state. So what we want to do is find income levels higher than the average of the state. So suburbs who have income levels higher than the state that it's in, and even better, higher than the average of Australia. That's more of the numbers we look at rather than just the crime rate. Other one is when you mentioned about school zone. Yes, we always look at, every time we invest in a suburb, the area that we invest in, how many schools are around. Is it close to both primary school and close to high schools? There is suburbs that definitely do command a more premium price because they are in what they would deem to be schools that are in more demand and higher rating type of schools, where you have to be in the catchment to go to that school. What we found was, if you can get into those type of suburbs, generally it does command about 30% more in price if you want to try to get into those suburbs that have those type of schools. Okay, so we do look at that.